Well, I think as a funder, I think you've got to realize that this is work that requires a very patient capital. You know, a lot of funders work on a regular cycle of funding, want to see results in a particular period of time that is preset and predetermined. And this work is not one that you can always achieve a certain number of outcomes or a certain kind of outcome by a certain period of time. There are what we call community rhythms that go along with this process, right? Communities operate at different speeds. There could be a series of newspaper articles that could cause a community to immediately get organized, get together, and start moving immediately and see results quick. But then there are other communities where it takes more time. Maybe there are relationships that have to be built. Maybe there are other kinds of things from the past that have to be overcome for people to feel the trust to re-enter into a conversation or a collaboration with others. There could be any number of issues that are going on in any particular community that require a funder to make sure that when they're investing in these efforts, they're assessing the community's readiness to move. And if you're not comfortable with the pace of potential change, then you need to decide whether or not this is the kind of place where you're going to want to invest your funds. But what I think is most important, though, is that funders have to, you know, we want funders to step up and be willing to take those risks, to maybe step outside their comfort zone and decide that if we keep going about social change in the way we've always tried to do it, funding great programs, funding great initiatives, waiting for great outcomes in 2 or 3 years, deciding that now we've funded it, we'll go move on to something else because we've kind of satisfied ourselves that we did some good work there, now we want to go off to do something else. I mean, if that's kind of the mindset that funders have, then this probably isn't the right place for them. This is a place where if you're a funder, you're going to be willing to stick with it for 5, 10, maybe more years and evolve your thinking around what works as the effort itself grows and evolves. I think it does require some funders to have great leadership. I think this isn't a place where you do blind investing. I think communities really benefit from when funders are not just investing their money, but they're investing their thinking, their thought leadership. I think it's important that people feel all in into these efforts when they're involved in them. And you know, I think funders, frankly, have a lot of understanding and a lot of knowledge about some of these issues that can bring great value to it. So I think when you're funding it, it may also be that you're going to be deeply involved in it as well. or if you're not being invited into it, then maybe signals a problem, because I think most collective approaches that we are working on in United Way, we may be funding them as well. We see ourselves at the table like everyone else. Especially if we're in the community and living in the community ourselves, we have a vested interest too. So, and our voices are important. I mean, the idea that people bring a particular kind of talent and skill and a particular competency to this work, I think is what this is about. That if there were only a few people that could do it, then we could just fund them to go do it, but that's not the case. It really does take a collective approach, and funders are a part of that puzzle.